The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, New Plymouth Rural Fire Protection District, on your new apparatus, job number 31076. Please utilize this job number when referencing your vehicle with Hughes Fire Equipment. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting on the front bumper, at the face of the bumper you'll find a right and left dual air horns. Located on the passenger side, you'll find your electronic siren. Loaded up onto the top, you'll find your access point for your tubbed storage front bumper hose. Located on the right and left side, you'll find emergency warning lights. And moving up onto the grille, you'll find 2 additional emergency forward-facing warning lights. Close up here of the air horn and your electronic siren. Just underneath this location, you'll find the chrome open-ended tow hook. Located on the side, you'll find your emergency warning light. And here is an image of close-up of the headlight cluster and turn indicator. Also located in the front is that tub storage location for your front bumper hose. Inside that is a 1.5-inch swivel discharge port. This is capable of water and foam discharge. Moving up onto the grille, you'll find once again those 2 emergency warning lights. And as we look at the general picture here of the side of your apparatus, you can see your headlight cluster. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other images here. You can see you have your Michelin tires. Moving up onto the very top of the cowling, you'll find your air intake. And just beneath the air intake on the driver's side and passenger side, you'll find your right and left turn indicator. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the apparatus. As we indicated earlier, this is your air intake on the very front. Moving down from that location, you'll find on the right and left side your right and left turn indicator. Located near that same spot, you'll find this latch, which allows you to open to gain access to the engine compartment. You have dual grab handles located on the right and left side of the apparatus, and you also have locking door latches, which are keyed. Moving down from that location onto the diamond-plated area, you'll find your silver cap for your diesel fuel. Moving to the right, you'll find your blue cap for your DEF fill. Just down from that location is an air chuck, air inlet. And just down in the yellow, you'll find your auto eject 20 amp shore power inlet. You'll also find 2 latches in this location to gain access inside this compartment. Here's a generalized view of the side of your apparatus. As we look, you'll find your silver or aluminum colored ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. In the blue cap, once again, you'll find your DEF. And moving to the right, this is your air inlet. And just beneath that air inlet is your auto eject shore inlet. This is a 120 VAC 20 amp plug. Here is the compartment that's open now. Looking under points of entry, you'll find additional lighting. This is the perimeter lighting here, located under the step. There is also perimeter lighting located just under the cab, illuminating the step area also. Let's go ahead and take a look just inside the cab here on the operator side. You'll find a cluster of warning and caution labels in this area. Please seek the owner's manual regarding each of these warning hazard labels. Your vehicle is equipped to have a capacity of 4 personnel. Let's go ahead and move just down to the entry point of your apparatus for the driver. This is your battery switch. Moving up from that, you'll find your auto charger. It's currently plugged in. That's why it is illuminated. And you'll find on the left-hand side, this is your manufactured placard. This information on this gives the date of manufacture, job number, the VIN number, gross vehicle weight rating, tire information, and all of the fluid capacities, types of fluid capacities, and the amount of fluid capacities. Let's go ahead and take a look just at the battery switch here. You can see there's an on-off switch. It's a quarter turn. Let's go ahead and take a look at the auto charger. Your vehicle is equipped with an air ride seat. This is the location for increasing or decreasing the amount of air pressure within that seat. And this is the latch here to allow it to move to the forward or back position. Let's go ahead and move just from this location up onto the steering area front panel. You'll find you have your keyed ignition. Just up from that on the left-hand side of the operator, you'll find an increase and decrease button. This is for your panel lights. Moving up from that, you'll find a rocker switch for your headlights. Moving up from that, this is going to be your resume accelerate for your cruise control. And then at the very top switch will be your speed control activation. And then moving all the way to the left-hand side, you'll find a placard indicating for the height of the vehicle, length of the vehicle, gross vehicle weight rating, and there is also at the very bottom a job number. You'll also find on the steering column your right and left turn indicator and windshield wipers. Let's take a look on the opposite side. You'll find your filter minder. This is for your air filter restrictor. You'll also find on the dash 2 gauges, one that has an S and one that has a P, one for supplemental and one for park. And at the very top of that, you'll find your ultra low sulfur diesel fuel, and just beneath that, you'll find an LED indicator for your DEF level. Let's go ahead and move just slightly down from this location. You'll find your Allison transmission pad here. And as we move just to the right, you'll find on the left-hand side, the mushroom switch here. This is your pump mode for road or pump mode. There is a pump engaged indicator light and also an OK to pump, meaning your pump has properly been engaged. To the right, you'll find your air brake, pull to apply, and push to release. Let's go ahead and move to the section that houses all of the switches on the right-hand side of this area. The first location you'll find in this bank of switches is for your regen. Moving to the right, you'll find your mirror heat. You also have an engine brake, which has a setting for high or low. Moving to the right, you'll find your driver's flood, passenger side flood, and your rear scene lights. We'll go ahead and move down to the next section and we'll cover the set of images on the right-hand side in the next set of pictures here. On the left, you'll find your air horn or electric horn. That's a selector switch between the two of those. This is your siren horn. Moving to the right, this is to activate or deploy your tire chains, which are underneath your apparatus. In the red, you have a high idle switch. Prior to operating the high idle switch, make sure you have the OK to engage the high idle. This is a green indicator. And to the very right, this is your load manager. Let's go ahead and move back up to the very top here. We'll talk about your low voltage. This is an indicator, and you have a compartment door open. That is this indicator switch here, which is not a switch, it's an indicator. And to the very right, this is an indicator indicating that you have your deck gun and it's in the raised position. Let's move back down to the very bottom. This is your Pierce information regarding your seatbelt. This will display if you have green, indicating someone's in the seat and belted, or red, someone is in the seat and not belted. Looking behind the center console, this is in the rear section. You'll find your controls for your heat and cool. This is your fan control on the left and the temperature control on the right. Looking to the passenger seat, you can see it has an SCBA fitted seat location here. When the center section has been removed, this gains access to the actual SCBA location. Let's go ahead and take a look overhead. As we look overhead, you can see there's easy push-on, push-off lights. In addition, with a set of rocker switches, we'll talk about those rocker switches now. On the very far left-hand side, this is your emergency master. Next one over is going to be your roof light, front warning, your side warning light, in addition with your lower rear warning, and then on the very end, your upper rear warning. Those are all individual controlled switches attached to the emergency master. Moving just to the right of this location, you'll find your siren, in addition with your PA microphone. As we move just to the very center of your apparatus, you'll find this red indicator light. This is an indicator light if on, indicating that you have doors or compartments ajar. Overhead, you'll find your placard information regarding the front portion of your Freightliner. And also on the opposite side, you'll find an important piece here for your regen information. Here, once again, is the components and the information about your Freightliner manufactured by Daimler Truck. In addition, with this important placard here regarding DPF regen and also hot exhaust and refill. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of your apparatus. We'll specifically talk about the pump section next, but at the very bottom underneath the pump section, you'll find LED perimeter lights, and just to the rear of that, you'll find an additional section here which houses drains for your apparatus. This is your foam pump discharge drain and also your foam pump intake drain. Let's go ahead and move up to the very top of the apparatus here. On the left-hand side, you have two speed load locations here for crosslays, crosslay 1 and crosslay number 2. They are all color-coded and 1.5 inches in diameter. These can be pulled out and have the hose loaded on the ground and then restored back into its original position. Also, your system is cut out here with a Husky foam system. This is your information here regarding the foam system instructions, and to the right, your foam level. Up in the gray area, the top of your panel, you'll find your master intake. Moving down just from that location, there'll be two test ports. These are the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They currently have plugs in them. And they're also up at the very top, you'll find your master discharge. You'll also find your Pierce information here regarding the apparatus throttle and pressure control. You'll find a check engine. Just across the front, you'll find a digital readout for your RPMs or tachometer. And you'll also find a stop engine light. If either of these two are on, pay close attention and seek your informational manual. Down below that, you'll find your menu to scroll through the various menu options. Across the very bottom, you'll find your various fluid level indicators. In the red, you'll find a silence button for the audible alarm. Just down from that, you'll find either pressure or RPMs. Those are two modes that you can go into, and a digital readout for that in the red area. In the upper right-hand corner here, you'll find your throttle ready. Moving down from the throttle ready location, you'll find your green preset button. This is if you choose to program presets within the system. Just beneath that is the throttle, and in the very center is a push to gain back to idle position. Let's go ahead and take a look at the set of rocker switches on the right-hand side. At the very top, there is light. There is also panel lights. This is a rocker switch. Next one down is called the pump engaged. That is an indicator, not a switch. Moving down, you'll find the driver side floodlight, and just beneath that, you'll find the passenger side floodlight. At the top and bottom of the set of switches, you'll find additional locations if you choose to add future switches. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the pump panel. First, let's start with the discharges. As you can see here, we have the number 1, number 2, and the front discharge. All three of these have foam capabilities. You can see that indicated by the red at the very bottom where the lever comes out. This is your pink in color deluge discharge. This is a wheel valve, and you can see it as a 12-to-1 ratio. Let's go ahead and move all the way to the right-hand side here. You'll find this black speaker. This is adjustable. This is for your audible alarm. You'll also find, once again, the indications for water and foam in these red placards for the driver's side rear discharge foam. And also in the upper right-hand corner, this is your water tank level, full 3/4 all the way down to empty. You'll also find your fire pump primer. There is some information at the very top here regarding for best performance. Run the engine at 1,000 RPMs while attempting to prime. Let's take a look at these valves here. You can see there is no red indicators on each side of the valve. indicating that these are not foam capable. Driver side 1, passenger side 2, and driver side number 3. They are all color coded. Let's talk about your job placard here at the very top. This is from Pierce. These are your test pressures associated with 150 at 1424 RPMs and the total of 882 GPM. It subsequently goes down from 200 to 250, and those are your 3 test pressures. There's also a placard here regarding the governed speed at 2360. This is going to be your engine cooler. This is a turn, not a pull. Just beneath that, you'll find your tank fill and recirculating line, and to the right of that, you'll find your tank to pump. As we move to the left-hand side, you'll find this warning label. This is important regarding always use drain valves and bleeders prior to removing a cap because they are dangerous under pressure. This is a warning label regarding the not mixing of different brands for foam concentration. And this lever on the right-hand side is your draft foam tank and also the foam fill location. This is going to be the type of pump you have. It's a Watrous Model CS. It also indicates the transmission type and information associated with your Watrous pump. These are going to be your discharge drains. Just down from this location, you'll find your auxiliary inlet. This is the driver's side 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. You'll also find your driver rear discharge and driver's side auxiliary inlet drains. And just to the right of that, you'll find this access door. We'll talk about that in the next images. But first, let's take a look at the manual pump shift. There is caution label information just above on how to operate, but seek your owner's manual for that. In the access door here, you'll find your foam fill and also instructions on the left door regarding foam information. These are your 3 fold-down steps that have covers on them currently. And in the very center of the lights here, you'll find this light, which will not illuminate unless your pump is properly engaged. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top of the apparatus. You have 2 right and left adjustable telescoping floodlights. Located in the center is your master stream device. It has an extend-a-gun on it. On the right-hand side, you'll find your foam pump and also the oil reservoir. Close up here of those telescoping lights. This is your extend-a-gun, which will allow you to raise your monitor above the cab. This is the hydraulic oil regarding your foam system. Looking back in the apparatus on the right-hand side with the warning label on it, this is your water tank top fill location. Moving just to the left of that, the other black tank, you'll find your foam A. This is a latched compartment. Generalized view of the side or body of the apparatus. Let's talk a little bit about some of the components on the side of your apparatus. Inside the roll-up compartment doors, you can see you have adjustable fixed shelving. Down at the very bottom, you can see you have pull-out shelving. To access that, on the very right-hand side, lower portion is a black lever to allow that to latch to move in the open position. We'll talk about in the first compartment in the upper left-hand corner. This is going to be your battery charger. Just beneath that in the gray box, this is your shore power. This is what powers that battery box when you're plugged into shore power. Underneath, you'll find the location for your folding wheel chocks. You also have in front and behind the rear tire in the body, 2 locations for bottle storage. In the center compartment, you can see the roll-up door here. It has illumination with inside or LED lighting. And just beneath that, just above the tire, you'll find an emergency warning light. Here's an image of the Michelin XDN2 rear tires. And you'll find in the rear compartment here, roll-up door in addition with LED lighting, adjustable shelving, and a pull-out shelf on the very bottom. We'll go ahead and move to the rear of the apparatus. We'll talk about some of the components in this area. First, let's start just underneath the tailboard. You'll see you have 2 perimeter LED lights. Located in the center is an attachment point or tow hook. Here is a close-up of the tow hook here and also the LED lights. Just underneath the apparatus in the rear, this is your backup alarm speaker. And now we'll talk about the light clusters in the very back of your apparatus. Lower light is going to be your reverse light. Next one up is your yellow turn indicator. Just up from that is your tail and brake. And at the very top of this cluster is your emergency warning light. Just up from this location, you'll find your deck lights. This is a switch. As we move further up on each side, right and left side, you have an emergency warning light and also a marker light just underneath that. And at the very top, rear facing, adjustable, you have 2 floodlights. You also have an adjustable hose bed. And in this left-hand compartment, you can see when the compartment door is open, this is access for board storage for EMS boards or other long devices. Generalized view of the hose bed area. You can see your adjustable hose bed. These are the covers on your 2 fold down steps. Moving just up to the very right hand side of that, you'll find your rear discharge, 2.5 inch. And at the very top section here, you'll find your reverse camera. Let's talk a little bit about some of these caution labels down here at the very bottom. This is regarding the standing and operating while the vehicle is in motion on the back tailboard, and you should not do that. Close up here of your rear backup camera. As we look at the rear compartment in this roll-up door, we'll find an additional storage compartment here and inside an adjustable shelf in this location. We'll move over to the right-hand side of the apparatus. This is the rear section. Behind this access door, you'll find storage for your 24-foot extension ladder, 14-foot roofer, and just at the very top of this cluster, you'll find your 10-foot attic or folding ladder. And to the left-hand side, currently empty, you'll find 2 locations for long pole storage. Let's go ahead and take, once again, a back view here of the apparatus, or side view, I'm sorry. At the very tops, you'll see you have additional grab handles. You can also see there is Rigid's hose storage at the very top for 2 sections. And at the very top, you also have a work light up in that area for standing. Let's take a look at those compartments. In the lower compartment here in the rear, you have an adjustable shelf and a pull-out shelf at the very bottom. Looking at the center compartment, you can see once again roll-up door with an adjustable shelf. Just beneath this roll-up door, you'll find that emergency warning light, in addition with 2 locations for bottle storage and safety straps for those bottles. Forward compartment here houses at the very top an adjustable shelf. Let's go ahead and look underneath the apparatus. These are your tire chains, automatic, controlled from the dash. Just forward of this location, you'll find a discharge, what appears to be a discharge port. This says threads, do not cap this. It even says it on the device itself. This is your relief valve, drain. Generalized view here of the side of your apparatus. We'll talk about some of the components here. Let's first start with the mid or subsection here. You can see that we have 3 fold down steps, in addition with your large diameter intake, large diameter discharge, and at the very bottom you have discharge drains. Once again, color-coded and labeled. You'll also find an access door in the upper left-hand side. Once you look inside that access door, this is the adjustment location for your relief valve. The Eagle American Flag Pierce logo. This is going to be your large diameter intake. Once again, close-up here of all those discharge drains. And moving just up from this location, this is your large diameter discharge in green. And in front of that, you can see you have a 2.5 inch discharge. We'll go ahead and move just up from this location. You'll find this access door. Once this access door is opened, you'll find an easily area to inspect and view inside the pump area behind the pump panel. Let's go ahead and move just forward of this location. You can see you have your 2 locations for your crosslays, the very top and very bottom. There is also netting to secure that hose in its position. It's currently in the open or down position. These are those speed loads that can be easily accessed by taking the entire load out, loading the hose, and restoring it back to its original position. But let's go ahead and move also just forward of this location to the passenger side, and we'll look at the steps going in. Once again, all access points have illumination or lighting underneath for steps in addition up onto the cab body itself. We're now moving into the front section of the cab. Let's go ahead and look overhead in this area. You'll find push on, push off red and white lights in addition with cab lights. Looking at the front dash area, you'll find your vehicle data, and you'll also find an audible alarm speaker. Looking down at the floorboard area, you'll find 2 foot pedals. One is for your air horn, the other is the electronic siren. Once again, looking into the general area here, you can see your map book storage or content storage. And as we move to the dash area, we talked about these components earlier, but this is just from a different perspective. Overhead of this position, you'll find additional storage in this location and also your PA system. Congratulations, New Plymouth Rural Fire Protection District, on your new apparatus. If you have any questions of the content of this video, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.